Hello, Freddie. How's life today? Are you ready to make some mooncakes with me? I can't find my mooncake mold. I have this. But I'm missing the discs. Do you know where they are? Do you want to help me find them? Because if I don't have the molds, I can't make the mooncakes. And you know what that's gonna do to me? Bad, terrible things. That's gonna make me very sad. So, you gonna help or no? Not gonna help. That's fine. It's not your job. You're definitely not obligated to help. It would be nice if you could help me, but you know, I don't expect you to. That's for sure. Yeah. So you're just gonna sit here. You're gonna sit here on the chair and just watch me struggle and not help me. Is that right? That's what you plan on doing? That's fine. I just want you to know that I'm keeping track of moments where I could benefit from you caring a little bit more about me, you know, and you don't. But you're just a cat, right? Why would I expect anything more out of you? Unreasonable human things to expect a cat to help, right? Clearly. Well, Freddie, if we don't find the mooncake molds, we won't be able to make mooncakes. Do you know what that means? It means we have this, but it's useless without the actual pucks. You gonna help or no? You're not gonna help. That's fine. You don't have to help. Okay. Let me just struggle on my own and try to remember where I put my shit. Because you're right. I need to be more responsible about tracking my shit. And I haven't been very responsible at all. And I deeply regret my decisions, you know, like, I should be better at this now. I'm a food professional. Did I scare you? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. I'm scaring my cat. I don't want to scare you, Freddie. They're not in here. Sorry, Fred. My energy is bad for the cat today. It's probably bad for me, too. You want to come back in? I'll give you a treat if you come back in. Where could the molds be, y'all? Where could the molds be? Where are you? When was the last time I used the molds? What did I use them for? Very sad. Very sad, Freddie. Maybe it is here, and I just need height to figure out where they... Oh, I found them. I just needed height. Located. Fantastic. Freddie, would you like to come back? I'll give you a treat. Come. Come. A treat. There's a little bit. Yes, good boy. And then, if you want more, come on. Yeah, good boy. Yummies. There's more. You're welcome. Okay. Y'all, it's time for part 3 of our mooncake making saga. I thought I lost the molds, but it turns out they were just hiding from me and I'm too short. In any case, we have the pastry dough, and I'm going to divide them into little balls, and we're going to try to envelop our frozen filling balls inside this. But I'm going to pull up your comments first so I can check to see what you're saying to me. Other than that, happy Thursday. I hope no tech issues bother us today, and I also have to not be on a live for longer than an hour today. And I know I said that last time, and I definitely went over, but an hour, so timer's on. Freddie is so cute. Freddie, you're so cute. Don't leave us. Don't leave us. Don't leave us, Fred. Oh man, what a little jerk. Take the treats and go. That's what cats do. They use you and they leave you. The most adorable, fur and parasitic, toxic relationship I've ever willingly subjected myself to. But, okay, there's someone doing laundry and their detergent smells horrendously strong. I can smell it through my kitchen window. It smells like maybe Tide and maybe a little bit of dryer at a too high temperature burning through fabric. You know that smell. Toasting clothes. You're on day 5 of having COVID. Oh shit. Yes. Fred always leaves us sooner or later, but we persist through the horrors of abandonment, reliving our childhood traumas through relationships with cats and other pets with anxious attachment styles. Welcome to my TED Talk. You're finishing your architecture diploma while watching. Wow, that's multitasking for sure. I thought you should see this. Freddie is currently in his box in the hallway. Can you see that? I'm just slowly inching towards him so he doesn't see us moving drastically towards him. You're welcome. And now he's into his carrier and he wants to go home because he's sick and tired of being here. I feel you, Fred. I'm also sick and tired of being here. Not really, I love my place. Life, on the other hand, is another matter. Regarding the health insurance rant talk that I went on yesterday, a lot of people were asking me if I checked out the Affordable Care Act and the subsidies. Yes, I technically qualify for maybe a $200 to $250 subsidy off of the monthly rate that I was looking at, which fluctuates between $520 to $680 monthly premiums. That doesn't, I don't think, include dental and vision. So even with that discount factored in, I'm still on the hook for at least $300 plus dental and vision if I choose to keep my teeth and eyeballs. And I would prefer to stay with my current insurance company if I could, which costs a little bit more. In either case, it's giving me a very hard choice of paying for something on a monthly basis that costs absurdly more than 6 times what I spend on groceries, that I will probably never use except maybe for 1 yearly checkup with 1 blood work and 2 dental visits, and hopefully not anything else, because even if I'm sick, I don't think I can pay the deductible of $6,000. Doesn't make sense. We all know this. All of us who live in the US, we all deal with it, so it's not news, but it sucks. I hate it. that's why we're gonna make mooncakes instead of thinking about these things. And Fred is fully gone now, so there's no looking out for Fred anymore. I'm sorry, but at least you saw him a little bit in the beginning, right? I want to make these a little bit thinner this time, so I think let's try a 15-gram puck and see if we can stretch it over one ball. Yeah, $2,800 monthly is ludicrous. Okay, technically I think this works, although now I forgot which flavor is in here. Oops. So I need to be much more organized now, because now we're coating it with the cake layer, which means I will not have any signifiers of what flavors are going on. So that's over there. 2, 4, 6. This is gonna be hard, guys. I could just do the lazy thing and make all the mooncakes the same and not worry about whether or not people know what flavor they are. Then I don't have to do the brain work of labeling them and sorting them. In my wildest fantasies, universal healthcare is on the same plane of impossibility as student loan forgiveness, so-called. We should not be the ones who are being forgiven. The people who should be forgiven are the ones who charged people who aren't old enough to vote that amount of money to go to school. But, you know, let's sigh. I'll bring you closer once I have the nuggets of dough shaped. I need to make at least 10 before I wrap them. I'll bring you closer now, JK. What's the point of waiting? Hi, Sri Lanka. Yeah, I don't know if we'll see universal healthcare in our lifetime. Like, honestly, I feel like the planet is on fire and we still don't care. We had school shootings regularly and we didn't pass any gun legislation. Like, America does not care, right? I'm getting all of these like dating advice things popping up in my Instagram, and you know how situationships are such a thing now in dating culture where people don't want to define what they are and they just keep stringing other people along, and a lot of these advice posts basically say things like, you know, don't pay attention to what their words are saying, pay attention to what their actions are saying. And if you pay attention to what our government is saying via their actions and legislations, they're saying they don't give a shit. So we need to understand that the government does not give a shit, right? We've given them no reason to give a shit either. They have nothing to benefit from us getting what we want and need for actually human well-being standards. So you know, the realistic thing is to not hope for better, because our historical actions have proven to be very anti-humanitarian. So anyone who wants to complain about why I constantly say bad things about the US, do you or do you not agree that these are things that our country maybe should consider working on? It's not just about me criticizing, are you not also affected by these same issues? Beyond what I look like, beyond what country I was born in, beyond the fact that I immigrated here. Work out how to get a good couple of presidents in post. In my video edited? I can edit presidents into our history? That's what it needs to be God. Hi, Belgium. I mean, you can still move to the US, maybe just don't stay here forever, especially if you need health care. I am really good at shattering people's dreams. You know, showing them the reality of things. Which is why I find it hilarious whenever someone asks me to, like, do career fairs or whatever, or host an intern or something. I'm like, I don't think you want me to taint the future expectations of young souls. I don't think it's time for them to completely wreck their hope in humanity just yet. All right. How should we organize our mooncakes? That's what I'm thinking about right now. Not about presidents, not about student loans, not even about the fact that I don't want to pay for, exorbitant amounts of healthcare premiums. I'm thinking about what should we do to make sure our mooncakes don't get misidentified. I think I should poke pieces of paper through a toothpick and then stick the toothpick at a boundary. Let's do the pandan matchas first. So pandan matchas are all yolks. Okay. Pandan matcha. Let's start off with an easy one. Plus yolks only. And let's start off with the pandan. Mooncake mold. It's here. We found it. I could technically roll these out with a rolling pin for the thinnest skin, but I also am lazy, so I'm just going to smush and press the pastry layer over the filling and hope it is able to close itself over completely. And for the most part, yes, we're able to do it. A little bit of peakage is fine. I think the filling is so stodgy that even if it melts, it'll still bake. Happy birthday. It's fall weather. It's not quite cold, but it's not warm anymore. It's temperate. It's my favorite season, so I'm very thankful for it. I love fall. I love the feeling of a little bit of breeze and a little bit of chill, and I love not really sweating for the most part. I love feeling the sun without being annoyed and exacerbated by it. So yeah, I'm appreciating the weather here. Does anybody have any fun weekend plans? I am having a relatively great day, guys. I just really need to figure out what's going to happen to my health insurance. I knew that this would be the most difficult part of me not having a full-time job. I was prepared for it. But you know, even if you're prepared for shit to go down in life, it still sucks. So I'm just bemoaning the fate that I saw coming for myself. I wish things were easier. I had hoped that they would be. You know. But this is the thing that encourages everyone to be full-time employed and tied and shackled to a job, because in a country like America, where you are basically indentured servants to the way we have public welfare set up, if you want to call healthcare public welfare, even though right now it's definitely private welfare over the people's welfare. Yeah, it just makes things much more affordable to have a full-time job where employers cover most of your health insurance for you. But that also means that you get exploited in other ways, for the most part, as a full-time employee. I don't think I'm eligible for COBRA anymore. Isn't that for like recently laid off folks? Also, isn't COBRA incredibly expensive? I don't really think that COBRA is that cheap. So we're just doing a little bit of smushing and pinching and smushing and pinching so that the thicker parts of the cake layers can get moved by means of the pressure coming from within my palm and the pads of my thumb here, to fully envelop the filling. This is why I froze the filling, so that the filling wouldn't smush with the smushing of the cake layer. The filling is pretty hardened right now, which makes it very easy for me to just smush the cake layer without smushing the filling layer too. I'm sure there are other ways to do this. Methods are abundant. No one is more right or wrong. Textures of mooncakes tend to be dense, a little bit like a fudge brownie fudge, like fudgier, cold, refrigerated brownie is the texture of most mooncakes I've had. This is one type of mooncake. There are other types of mooncakes where you have flakier crusts as the pastry cake layer that envelops the filling. And those are a little bit more like a water crust, a pie crust, pot pie crust. Those have slightly different textures, but the filling tends to be fudgy. If you like fudge, you might like mooncakes. You don't need to have the patience to make mooncakes to eat them, you just need to have the money to buy them. And usually a lot of Chinese bakeries will have them year-round, but now is the time to find them everywhere, including supermarkets. Most Chinese, maybe even other Asian supermarkets, will have mooncakes stocked for sure. They probably were stocking them way back in August, too. It's mooncake season. The Mid-Autumn Festival is the holiday that these are usually eaten on, and that is taking place, I believe, next weekend, either Friday or Saturday, whatever the 29th is. I mean, politics everywhere, right, for the most part, results in a lot of contempt and unhappiness. And I don't think it's really the fault of the government. I think it's just the combination of factors of late-stage capitalism and also our ability to persist through injustices have made us become adapted to feeling like, oh, this is a really shitty scenario, but you know what? I guess this is just the way things are. I guess we'll just have to live with it. And so we've learned to live with a lot of things that we probably didn't need to settle for, but you know, over time, once you have developed a pattern of trauma and abuse and being exploited, then it becomes natural to feel like things are wrong, and wrongs then become rights. And then you're like, oh, yeah, this is just the way things are. Yes, the White Lotus filling paste is also my favorite, for sure. I made some lotus fillings, but then I flavored them. So I think the pandan is lotus based, and I think maybe the coffee is lotus based, but I kind of forget. I forget which ones I used where. Patsies, is that Polish donuts? Delish has a recipe. It's not mine. I remember maybe Kat Boitsova developed it. I remember liking them when I shot them for site. I think maybe I assisted or maybe I imagined. I don't know anymore. It's just a jelly donut, isn't it? Is the making of mooncake something you taught yourself? Yes. I had to develop it for Delish. So then I just did some research online and developed one. And I don't actually remember if Mom got to taste these. I don't know actually. I don't think she did. I think she must have died before. Yeah. So, there it is. A culinary cartographer? That is a fancy title. Why, thank you. What does it mean? Define that term for me. Can somebody Google that term in quotes? Does that term already exist? I bet it does. But I'm curious who else it's been applied to. What a fancy title. Grandma does not eat mooncakes because of the sugar. Yes, she does not like desserts. She thinks they're gonna get her to become diabetic. Festival photos? No, I'm not celebrating any other way. Trailblaze my own recipes. Isn't that what we do throughout history? Isn't that just what people did? We just made things and then recipes came later. Recipes are the traditions of cooking transcribed onto paper. But recipes are a relatively modern invention, I would say. I mean, Grandma survived being in a massive hospital without being vaccinated at the height of COVID transmission when Mom passed away. So I'm not worried about Grandma. Okay, this is our pandan tray. Let's keep that separate. And we have more pandan without yolks. So then we need to shuffle, 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 shuffle. And this is yolks only. And then we need to do pandan plain. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 13. Now we put black sesame on the ones that had yolks. So I think we should do that here. I had a friend ask me yesterday, how long have you been making these mooncakes? And I said, probably at least a cumulative 12 hours with possibility of 4 to 6 more. I think that's accurate. Probably. The ones without egg yolks will probably be easier to close since they are smaller balls. And it really doesn't matter if they're perfectly round now because they'll get smushed by the mold when the time comes anyway. So yeah, I definitely like the filling more. I think this is just an activity. I didn't need to do this, but you know how sometimes in life you get used to not doing much of anything and you want to take it easy, but then every day just becomes the same and you start feeling depressed because every day feels the same, and so that sameness feeds into a feeling of almost being dead, but worse because you're alive, but you feel dead. And the cognitive dissonance of, well, I'm alive, but I feel dead, causes a lot of rumination and reflection that doesn't feel productive to me, and it makes me feel sad. And so this was just an opportunity for me to be thinking about what stuff I had in my pantry and whether or not I wanted to give myself something else to do that I'm not used to doing every day. And initially I wanted to, film that Cooking for Fred video, but I think I chose this over the Fred video because, one, I think part of this is trying to feel like tied to the only Chinese celebratory tradition that I know of. Very few do I know of. This was one of the few Chinese celebration moments that I shared with my mom. Not in terms of like doing anything spectacular for celebrating, but just eating mooncakes. And I'm not really the type to go out and buy a tin of mooncakes, especially if I'm just, single and not really sharing them with anyone. And this is way more fun than buying them. And I also think subconsciously, I just don't really want to give the pressure of giving myself yet another video to shoot and edit, especially because I'm deep in the edit of the taste test video still that I had projected to be done by August, which obviously it's almost October now and it's still not done. But good news is first cut is done, so I should be able to release that video within the week. But that combined with farm school projects, which I have to do a farm school video too to help them with informational videos where I interview some students and kind of tell their story of how farm school has entered their lives and changed their lives and how they foresee themselves moving beyond farm school after this year is done. And so all of those reasons, I think, prompted me to choose this project over the Cooking for Fred video. I also think because Fred has been hiding a lot and he's not as natural in this apartment, it's led to a lot of feelings of, oh, Fred might not even want to be on camera, and then I'm going to start this video project and he's not even going to be, cooperative enough to star in it, and he's supposed to be the star of a video where I'm cooking for him. So all of those reasons. I think about things, guys, maybe too much. But now I feel like I'm sweating through my pits, so I'm going to change my shirt. You're right, it's not that cold yet. So let's go change. If you're curious about farm school, just Google New York City farm school. The first result is probably the right result. Mooncake can be made in whatever flavor you want. It's just a cookie. Okay, BRB. This is our Pandan cohort. They're cute, huh? Let me see if I have a food safe bag to put them into. BRB. That laundry smell is intense. All right. Are you guys drinking water? Are you guys eating your vitamins? Are you feeding yourself fiber and vitamins and nutrients? Are you doing all the things to make sure that you're caring for yourself in a way that the world doesn't encourage you to? The world is not for you. I bought pre-made flavoring. I'm not that hardcore, guys. I'm already making mooncakes from scratch, y'all. I definitely did not make enough dough. So there's that. Miscalculation on my part, for sure. So besides pandan, then, we should think about maybe coffee is next, because that's my favorite flavor. If I can't get to all of them. And then maybe we can make another batch of dough. This is more than a 3-day process. Actually, you should not be eating mooncakes right after they're baked. You should let them kind of age a little bit so that the texture is right. If you don't allow them time to sit, the pastry's gonna taste dry and not cohesive with the filling. So there's that to consider. Yep, indeed. You keep grading and you keep losing your pen. Maybe that's your subconscious telling you that you don't want to grade anymore. Are you sure you're losing it or hiding it? Yeah, so I definitely don't have enough to even make half of the pucks that I have formulated. So that is a miscalculation. Ooh, that's fun. Sowing all those seeds, huh? What are you planting? I knew I was gonna forget which one's which. Oh, God damn it. I think these are all coffee. Pandan. coffee. Yes? Yes. Okay. Yep. Well, you smell like you could potentially be Earl Grey. You definitely smell like coffee, though. Why's it gotta be this way? You look different, though. You guys look different. Do you? Do you look different? All right, you know what? So be it. So be it. If you ever need help with designing, thank you. I don't know what I would design, but thank you. Do I like the lava fillings in mooncakes? You know, I don't know if I've ever had them. I just like delicious things. If they're well made and they're not made for hype, then I tend to like them. If they're made for hype, I tend to not like them. It's very easy for me to hate things that are made with hype. Because I'm a natural born hater. Yeah, no rose this time. I'm personally not a fan of rose flavors in cookie type things. I can like rose in more like creme brulee settings, anything that's more ice creamy, dairy heavy. I think rose goes really well with dairy flavors. I don't know if I like rose in cakes. I do find the flavor a little bit distracting. But a rose flavored frosting or icing, I'm down for sure. Just depends on the application. Also, when Mom passed away and I went home, she had these packets of mooncake type things that were like mixed nuts and fruits, and they had rose flavored in them. And I did my best to try to eat everything she left behind, but I could not stomach those. They just tasted so gross to me. I ended up shipping them to a viewer who was watching one of my grief live streams, and they said they wanted it. So I shipped it out because I didn't want to throw them out. I threw out half an open packet because I felt so guilty after that I didn't want to throw the rest of them out. So that's where I went. And I think I got an email that said they liked it. So I hope they did. I'm happy you're here, Maddie. I'm glad you're happy that you're happy. Black sesame mooncakes are delicious. I concur. I also love black sesame tangyuan. Those are like the mochi balls that have liquid filling in them that are sometimes served in like a little thin broth. Ah, Eva, you got them. You like them. Fantastic. Happy to have given them a new home. Thank you for appreciating them. A June website with all my lovely recipes. That would be a full-time job. I don't know if that would pay. I don't know if that would be worth my time. I don't know if I want to do recipes. I find the most joy when I cook without recipes, when I just wing it. It's carefree. I think it fits with my kind of whatever goes philosophy in life now. I think after Mom died, I just don't really care about a lot of things. So if people still want me to write a book, it might take a decade before I formulate in my mind what kind of a book would be worth writing. What kind of a book would be worth writing in terms of so many different levels of interpretation of worthiness? Worth it for me, worth of my time, worth of my mind, worth for other people to read, worth for publishers to make. Would it sell? What are we selling? What's the message? Because a few people can say they will buy the book, and they actually might, but most of them won't buy the book. And so you have to think about, well, is this project a fulfilling project for me to undergo and put my effort into if nobody else enjoys it? And that's kind of the thinking that I do when I make my videos too, because not all of the videos perform. And it does become discouraging to put a lot of time and effort into something that not everybody really is enthusiastic about, you know? So you could write essays about the psychology of food. I mean, aren't the lives doing just that? Aren't the videos doing just that? What makes a book a convincing format for those topics is my question. I think our society still has this supremacy of sorts surrounding physical objects. I think they're kind of class signifiers too, of being able to own a book. Even in an age where we can see consumption of media is heavily digitized, we are still finding so much pride and status in being the author of a book. And I'm just like, but why? Why does the New York Times bestseller list still exist, you know? What is the point of generating books? How many people who buy cookbooks, I would love to see this statistic. How many people who buy cookbooks actually cook the recipes that are in the cookbooks? So that's something that I wonder about for sure. I think for the most part, the way cookbooks function on my bookshelf is I like having them there. I like feeling that I have them. I like looking at the pictures when I first get them. But I sure as hell don't even make one recipe out of every cookbook that I buy. I might not even make one recipe out of 10 cookbooks that I have. So there's that component too of like, why? And you know, I like physical books too, but I have to have a good reason for writing one. I don't have anything against books. coffee with yolks, coffee with cream cheese. Yeah, mooncake with Tide essence is right. Exactly. The frozen balls are starting to get soft. So you do have to work kind of quickly with this method. No dilly-dallying. I have a story about how I got into food. Is it a story that's worthy of telling in a book? I've told it many times on podcasts, on lives. I'm just not convinced about the book as a vehicle. Books are kind of a relic. The object of books, not the purpose of books. Exactly. The internet is free. That's my main point. Especially considering my audience, the audience that I carried over from my Budget Eats days. You know, when a editor at a publisher reached out to me about writing a book, and this was before my mom passed away, so over 2 years ago now. That was one of the first questions I bounced back at him. And I'm like, who do you think is going to be the audience of this book? Because my audience doesn't have money to pay for fancy ingredients. I'm not sure they're gonna have money to buy a hardcover book. Hardcover books are like $35 to $45, you know? Think about it. Think about who I'm writing this book for. And then you tell me, do you think this book is going to sell? Is it a wise business decision for you to offer me a book deal? And I don't have anything against my audience. I wouldn't buy a cookbook either. So I'm thinking from my own perspective, is this a book I would buy? Hell fucking no. Who cares about an internet celebrity, personality? Who cares? There's so many of us, right? That's not, recipes and a cookbook is not the core of what's going to be a retaining pull on the audience that displays longevity, I think, on my channel. Like, you guys are not the cookbook buying type. And yes, it's an overgeneralization, but I think overall you are not the cookbook buying type. You follow my delish recipe for Bouche de Noël? That ad revenue is going to delish, girl. I have never gotten a single penny of ad revenue from any of the videos I've done for Delish. Not for Budget Eats, not for my stand-in stir cooking tutorials, nothing. So don't watch it for me, watch it for you. I don't mind you watching things that I've hosted, but don't do it because you think it benefits me. Why do you think we were unionizing? Why do you think we were unionizing? I am not the only one who was exploited, who continues to be exploited there. And also, that Bouche de Noël recipe isn't even mine. That Bouche de Noël recipe was developed by Mackenzie, my coworker, and I was just hosting it. I made a change to the whipped cream recipe. I stabilized it with some gelatin so that it wouldn't melt or, you know, waste away in the fridge. But for the most part, that recipe is not mine. So yeah, props to Mackenzie for a great cake recipe for the holidays. Delicious something, they're still making money. Let's not get ahead of ourselves with our ego now. Delish doesn't fucking care. Corporations don't have feelings, guys. They'll just keep operating the way they always have. Yes, mooncakes can be savory, for sure. They're so cute and they haven't even been pressed yet, y'all. We are coming up on the hour though, so let me finish wrapping some of these up. Let's do a few sweet potatoes. 4 sweet potatoes. And the sweet potatoes, I feel like with cream cheese? Yes. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's 10 here. 2, 4, 6, 7 here. We'll have to finish this on another live. Stay tuned. But before we go today, I do want to make more dough, I think. So there's that. What is my favorite mooncake flavor? Traditionally, it's the double yolk lotus. I used to like red bean, but then I was like, yeah, lotus, lotus. This kind of sucks though, because I need to make that baking soda mixture again for the dough. We should probably definitely count how many mooncakes this dough covered so that we know to make enough for the rest of our pucks of filling. Yeah, this is a pumpkin spiced sweet potato. So it's extra interesting, I think, because it's deceptive. What is pumpkin spice without the pumpkin? And what is pumpkin without the pumpkin spice? It's getting really philosophical up in here, you know? Think about it. We associate the flavor of pumpkin with pumpkin spice so much. Would we even know what pumpkin is without the spice? feel like if I just gave this to someone, they would be like, oh yeah, that's pumpkin spice pumpkin. Bye, Belle. Pumpkin is a specific form of squash. So all pumpkin is squash, but not all squash is pumpkin. So for example, zucchini, I would say, is a squash, but it's not a pumpkin. Pumpkin spice is kind of like a 5-spice. Oh, we didn't count how many mooncakes we made. All right, let's do an estimate. 13 plus 2, 4, 6. Let's just say we made enough for 40. That checks out because my recipe makes 19 originally, so 20 makes sense. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. 2, 4, 6, 8. All right, let's just make a double batch. Easier to do the math. Who would have thunk I failed this crucial element of preparation by not making enough dough? How many days it takes to make a mooncake is totally dependent on how fast you work. And depends on how many flavors you're making. If you curse yourself with 4 or 5 different flavors like I did, then yeah, it's gonna take a long ass time. Would not recommend you do this. Technically, you should let the dough rest just so that it's easier to work with. I'm also not going to use it if it's like warm, you know? That's kind of weird. You're a corny Gen Xer. We like you. We like corny Gen Xers. Oh, I didn't put enough baking soda in. Only 2 ingredients in and I've already fucked up doubling it. All right. Yeah, most people sell mooncakes like in the 4 to 6 weeks leading up to the actual festival. So I'm pretty sure this is already the tail end of the purchasing season. Most people buy it as gifts, you know, so. If you're buying it now, that just means you're like a procrastinator. You know, when you do Christmas shopping and you procrastinate. Sure what other food prep goes on. Like I said, I'm not well versed in Chinese holidays. Not a good token Asian to ask. Oh. Not picking that one up. I don't know you. Tablespoons peanut oil. Oh, that's right. I don't have coconut anymore, so. Guys, let's go crazy. Let's use up some of Grandma's butter. I also don't have maltose anymore, so we gotta go heavy with the honey. This is truly a trashy affair now. And we need some salt too. So. 3 tablespoons times 2 is 6 tablespoons. 3 tablespoons would be 45 grams. 6 tablespoons would be 90 grams. Grandma has started this new intolerable activity, intolerable to me, where she not only gives me milk to take home, she has to wrap them fully in toilet paper. I think maybe she thinks it's like against the rules to take stuff home from the facility, so she always wants me to like extra hide it from view. But that just means that we have a lot of toilet paper that I then have to ask nurse for more of, because she wastes it all on wrapping her food items. Grandma. Oh God, my scale went off, so I no longer know how much butter was in there. Oh, you're out of battery. That's cool. Thanks for crapping out on me halfway through. I guess 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We've done 10 already. Let's just go for 10 more. We don't even know if this is butter, guys. The last time we used it, we said it might be margarine, fronting as butter. So, you know, there's that possibility too. All right, I think that's enough butter for us. We'll just work it in with our fingers, much like pie dough. Well, they say it's whipped butter. I don't know if that's enough of an explanation for why it's so pale, but yes, it is pale. You should also know that most cheap butters in the US are pale looking because they're cheap. They probably don't feed their dairy cows much nutritiously dense things. So everything is a consequence of what preceded it. So you can only get shit from shit unless you compost it and then you make fertilizer. But that takes time and effort and energy. Do you guys remember what I put in the previous dough? Did I season it with anything? I think I put in some red sugar, but maybe we'll skip the red sugar in this round. need 2/3 cup of honey in here. 2/3 cup of honey is probably about 160, 180 grams. Yeah, it will likely be saltier with the butter because this is salted butter. So yes, but honey was always a part of the equation. But let's go ahead and add in the baking soda this time because last time we almost forgot it, didn't we? Yes, lard is encouraged. Much of Chinese desserts is lard-based, historically speaking. So lard is probably infinitely preferable to butter. Germ count. Interesting. Wonder where that's from. Well, you see, without the scale, it's kind of hard, isn't it, to know when 180 grams of honey has been used. Thankfully, I have all of my dead mom's batteries. Thanks, Mom. Oh, wait. Dead mom's batteries are also dead. Maybe another one? Huzzah, we're in business.
21st. Our facility has 2 residents on the second floor who have tested positive for COVID-19. All other residents on the unit have been tested and are negative. The positive residents are currently isolated from the other residents. As a precaution, we plan on retesting the non-COVID positive residents on the second floor again in the next few days. As per the Department of Health, COVID-19 transmission rates are currently high in Queens communities and hospitals. Therefore, please be extra mindful when planning to visit the facility, especially if you are not feeling well. If you are planning to visit the second floor, please make sure you follow any PPE requirements posted on the doors, as well as any guidance given by the nursing staff.
Yep, Grandma's floor has COVID positive cases now. I am still visiting her and able to visit her, but I guess it's spreading because as of a day ago at least, I was told there was only 1 case, but now there's 2. So all I can say was it wasn't me because Grandma's not positive yet. All right, let's taste this dough so I can hop off this live, go live my life elsewhere. A little bit sweeter than the first round. Not as nuanced in flavor, but definitely delicious. True, the honey is making it much easier for me, but it's not going to be as chewy in the end. Catherine, you know I'm filled with nothing but lies. You know that. I never tell the truth. Okay, so our dough is done. I lost the honey jar yet again. Here it is. And now we're gonna feed Fred. Freddie! You wanna come have food? Yeah, you know what food is. You know when food time's happening. Meow meow. I know, buddy. You've been so patient. Yeah. I'm an awful mom. You're right. You're always right. We got a little bit of stewy treats for you. right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna season your wet food that's already expensive, $3 per tin, Icelandic kidney specific lamb liver that you find unappetizing. So I've had to go buy this junk food off of Amazon to try to make it appealing to you, and lo and behold, you love it. And we're gonna rinse out this packet so that we get all of these nice kidney friendly juices out of there so that you eat your food. Meow, yeah. He doesn't use the inhaler on a daily basis anymore, and usually when he has attacks and we reach for the inhaler, the mere act of kind of chasing after him with the inhaler is enough to scare him from the attack getting worse. So because he tries to run away from us as fast as possible, when we pull the inhaler out, it just like acts as an anti-asthmatic attack tactic. You're gonna be so hydrated. You're gonna have to drink the soupy soup. You excited to drink the soupy soup? Ready? Yeah, come on. I have some fresh water for you, sir. Fresh. We got Fred from Puppy Kitty NYC. Saw him on the gram. Saw his little rogue debonair. His top ear was probably clipped during a TNR, which is trap neuter release, which is what they do to most cats who are feral in an attempt to curb the feral population. They probably botched it a little bit, because it doesn't look like it was a great cut. TBH. How's your food, Fred? always hungry. Fred is always hungry. Yeah, we wonder about Fred Jr.'s too. He's very attuned to sounds of kittens, so we have reason to believe that maybe he's looking for his children somewhere out there. Bye, Freddie. Okay, folks, thanks for tuning in to this live, and I will see you next time. May the rest of your day be as peaceful as possible.